Here in the South, we use frying pans a lot. I mean, a lot. Whether it be cornbread, steak, whatever, it always tastes better on cast iron. And understandably, a question that comes out a lot of times is, how do you keep it clean? What do you do with it after you cook? There's a lot of complicated answers, but it's really simple. I'm going to show you how to do it. Welcome back to Sawdust and Cornbread. I'm Lora Lea. Now, suppose you just finished cooking a delicious meal in your cast iron skillet. You got your steak just right. It's caramelized. Maybe you threw some onions and peppers and mushrooms on top. Now, what are you going to do to get it clean? The absolute best thing you can do for your cast iron skillet is, as soon as you finish cooking, there's going to be some grease or fat in the bottom of the pan where it's melted down. You're going to want to take that and pour it out into like a Pyrex measuring cup, but deal with the skillet as soon as you finish cooking. It's the easiest way. The absolute worst thing that you can do is, while it still has that fat and grease in there, is to put it on the sink or push it to the back of the stove and just let it cool, and all of that grease and stuff solidifies, and it's going to make it really hard to get out. So you finish cooking, you've already poured out your hot grease, and then you're going to take a paper towel or a little wad of paper towels and wipe and clean up the excess oil or grease that's left in the pan itself. After you use your paper towel to get it all wiped out, what's going to happen, you'll look in your pan and there's going to be all these little crusty bits that are left after you're cooking. And if there's something that's really stuck in there, like if you cooked something that left a film, you can pour some hot water in there while the pan is still hot. Don't use cold water. Cold water is not going to work, not even room temperature. You want the water super hot so that it doesn't solidify what's in the pan. So like boil some water and pour it in there, and then take like a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula would be better, and just work it around in there. You're not scrubbing real hard, it lifts right off. It just helps to bring all of those little bits or pieces that are stuck to the surface. So after you put the boiling water in there with your spatula and kind of scrape that loose, you're going to pour that out. Now you need a little bit of abrasion, so get like an old rag or some throwaway cloths and put some kosher coarse salt in the bottom. Go to the sink and turn on some hot water. Just put a little bit in the bottom just to make a little, like kind of like a slush in there, and then take your rag and scrub it up. You want to get all of that loose stuff out while the hot water's in there. And they do make specialized tools, like they make chain mile scrubbers and special steel scrubbers. I don't like those because a lot of times they remove the finish, but I will put some in the link just in case you're interested and you don't want to use the salt and cloth method. Then just give it a good rinse with some hot water. Make sure it's real hot. That's going to help things to clear out without taking off your finish that you've put on there. And then you want to dry it out really well. This is so important. If you leave any moisture on cast iron, it is going to rust. That's what we're trying to prevent, as well as trying to keep stuff from sticking in the future. So just get a couple of paper towels, make sure it dries out really well, but we're going to do one more thing to make sure it's super dry. Turn your burner back on your stove, and we're going to set it up there and just make sure that all of the moisture is out. So we're going to heat it up for a couple of minutes. Once your pan is good and warmed up on the eye, it's good and dry, go ahead and turn the heat off. And then you're going to want to add a light oil to the pan, something like canola oil or maybe even Crisco. You don't want to use olive oil because it goes rancid pretty fast. We don't want that happening, and we don't want something to get sticky. So we're just going to pour a little bit on there. Use a paper towel to work that all over the pan. You want to cover the entire surface, the bottom, the inner sides, the top rim, the handle, underneath, the whole thing. You want everything protected and coated. Once everything is good and coated, you don't want a thick coating on there or it'll get gunky and then it'll attract dirt and stuff. But just take a few paper towels again, wipe off any excess oil, give it a good wipe all over, and allow it to cool all the way before you store your cast iron skillet. And now you have a nice clean pan ready to store. And just remember that you never want to leave any water in the pan. Don't leave it sitting. That's the worst thing you can do. Cast iron really isn't that high maintenance as long as you get on it as soon as you're finished cooking. And then after you finish your meal, everything's already clean. You don't have to worry about it. So I hope you found this helpful, quick, simple, easy. Bring out your cast iron skillets. I'm also going to do a short video like this on how to restore a cast iron skillet if you have inherited one. These things can last for literally hundreds of years, if not more, when they're passed down in families, as long as you take care of them. They're not that high maintenance. It's just a matter of getting on it as soon as they're done. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I'll see you next time. God bless. Frying pans. Who knew?